Good morning. All right, for today's video, we're not talking about music. I know. Everybody, chill the fuck out. No rap, no lyrics, no AI music, no shameless self-promotion. Today, drum roll please, anime. Yeah, anime. That's what I fucking said. And before somebody jumps into the comments and says, Jonathan, aren't you almost 40? Yeah, I am. Thank you for noticing. And I regret absolutely nothing. Matter of fact, I probably watch more anime than regular television. At this point, if you ask me about some new Netflix show, there's a decent chance I haven't seen it, but if you ask me about anime, I'm probably about to have a very long conversation. Because I've been watching this stuff since I was a kid. Like a lot of people my age, it started with fucking probably Dragon Ball Z, racing home from school, watching Goku power up for what felt like 3 episodes straight, thinking it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. Back then, it was all about the fights. Crazy fucking fights. The transformations, the power levels, the excitement. Yeah, and honestly, I still love all of that. I am an absolute sucker for a great fight scene. Always have been, always will be. But the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that isn't really why I love anime. The fights get me interested. The stories keep me invested. Because anime tackles things that a lot of people don't expect. Loss, grief, depression, purpose, identity, fear, sacrifice. The struggle to become the person you're meant to be. The struggle to keep moving when life gets difficult. And maybe that's why it stuck with me. Because life gets more complicated as you get older, not less. And some of these stories understand that better than anything else I've watched. It's a cool show too, actually. Even though it's not anime, it's still really cool. Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, shows that absolutely blew me away. Attack on Titan wasn't just giant monsters. It was freedom, fear, war, politics, human nature. Despite it being about a bunch of giants that eat people. Demon Slayer isn't just beautiful sword fights. It's family, loss, compassion, perseverance, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh my god. It's about responsibility, pressure, being thrown into impossible situations before you're ready. And the action is just insane. The animation is incredible. But underneath all of it, there's substance. And then there's art. There's the art. Honestly, I think that's what pulls me in the most. I've always loved art. Not just anime, art in general. I don't know, that's just random shit. Music, drawing, graphic novels, storytelling. Some crazy ass shit. Look at that fucking thing. Anything that takes imagination, turns it into something real, and anime is overflowing with that. Sometimes I'll watch a scene and completely forget what's happening in the story because I'm sitting there wondering how many artists spent months creating 30 seconds of animation. The movement, the detail, the emotion, the lighting, the choreography, the passion. It's unbelievable. And when it's done right, it's beautiful. Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix. Great fucking show. It's not just entertaining, it's beautiful. Now look, I understand why some people don't get anime. Trust me. I tried to get my parents into it, my dad especially. Every time there's inevitably one of those weird anime moments, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everything is serious, everything is dramatic, and somebody's face turns into like a stupid cartoon. It is a cartoon, but you know what I mean. Somebody starts screaming, some random joke appears out of nowhere, and my dad immediately checks out. It's like, don't let those little things ruin a great show. Anyway. And I'm sitting there like, Dad, can you survive 30 seconds of weirdness so we can get back to the masterpiece? Because if you can get past some of those quirks, some of the greatest stories I've ever experienced come from anime. Stories that made me laugh. Stories that made me think. Stories that genuinely moved me. I get more emotional at anime than fucking real people. Stories that stayed with me for years. But maybe that's not even the biggest reason I love anime. Maybe the biggest reason is what it did to me creatively. Because the older I get, the more I realize anime probably influenced me more than I ever gave it credit for. Not just as a fan, as a creator. When I sit down to write a song, I'm telling a story. When I build a concept, I'm creating characters. When I imagine a music video, I'm imagining scenes. Visuals, symbolism, emotion, the same things that drew me into anime in the first place. I just don't admire anime because it's entertaining. I admire it because it reminds me what's possible when people create without limits. Somebody sat down with a blank page and imagined worlds that millions of people now care about. Characters that people cry for, cheer for, remember for decades. That's incredible. And as somebody trying to create something through music, I find that inspiring. Every single time. Maybe that's why I never stopped watching. I consume anime like it's my job because every great anime reminds me to keep creating, to keep imagining, to keep building things, even when nobody understands them yet, and when they're unfinished, and when they're imperfect. It's okay, you know, because every masterpiece starts as an idea in somebody's head. And honestly, I think anime helped teach me that. So maybe this isn't really a video about anime. Maybe it's a video about imagination. Maybe it's a video about creativity. Maybe it's a video about refusing to lose that part of yourself just because you got older. So yeah, I'm almost 40. In July. It's coming. I'll watch anime. I still get hyped during fight scenes. I still recommend shows nobody asked me to recommend. I still stay up way too late saying, just one more, whatever. Knowing full well that's a lie. And I'll probably still be doing it 20 years from now. Because some things don't stop being amazing just because you get older. Oh, boom. And imagination shouldn't either. Be clever. Signing out. Have a good day, everybody.